so we're taking you for a two-part series where you can watch me build. They're really long. They're not like I don't speed them up or anything like this, so you can see what I'm doing wrong, where I mess up, what I do right, what I don't, you know, and I kind of just piecing this together as I go along, just making it up as we go. Um, in terms of like, so it'll be like you'll see me doing maybe some basic UV mapping, dropping some basic materials and lighting till we get to the end product which should look like something like this. Of course, you can change this to an orthographic, like I said, so you get a nice isometric look to your, your little burger box. Of course, you don't need to do a burger box. This could be a pizza box. You could stick a pizza on top of there. I'll be using Blender 5.01, as you can see up here, 5.01, and I'm still learning, so stumbling through this different techniques, learning as we go along. Like I said, there's no right or wrong, right? It's just different techniques. There's different ways of doing things. But if you do have any advice, leave it in the comments below. Any shortcuts, better ways of handling the mesh or materials, or let me know. I'm always looking to grow with you guys and improve. I have a think what to do in the next project, but this is what we've done so far. Hope you enjoyed the next couple of hours. Feel free to fast forward the boring parts. There may be parts where I go quiet. That's either I'm thinking or I'm just lost in the process. But most of the time I try to say what I'm doing or thinking or speak my thought process. Alright, we're going to start building our burger bar. So feel free to follow along. Of course, you can, make it however you like. Maybe you have techniques or different from mine or different way of doing things. So, you can feel free to copy or even write in the comments as I build. If you recommend a different way of doing things, easier way, faster way, I always want to learn. I'm going to start with the default cube. I'm going to scale this up. So S to scale up. I'm going to move this up. Actually, let's open up the items box. Just set this to like 5 by 5. All right, 5 by 5 by 5. That's a nice little size. And we can just move this above. So it just sits on the grid. Like so. Just move that up by 5. There we go. And let's freeze this transformation. So I'm going to just hit Control A. Apply all transformation there, and I want to center that pivot. Actually, I'll leave the pivot as it is, it's fine. If you want to center the pivot, you can. Okay. I want to have like a drive-through, so that way they can pick up the stuff. So we're going to have a little window on the side here. The front, we're going to have the shop, of course. Maybe we're going to add some pipes here and a back entrance for the maybe just employees to go in and out. But let's start building. So we're going to go here to edit mode. And we're going to go to edges. Let's select these 4 edges. Right click. I want to bevel these edges. And I want a nice rounded edge. Okay, so here in the bevel options, you can just increase that count. Something like this. There we go. Now, sorry about that. Now I'm going to go click on, where is it, shaders. I just want to check the cavities are checked. I prefer to see the edges a little bit better. What we're going to do is we're going to cut a face in here, and we want to cut a hole in here. Maybe we cut a hole. I don't think we really need to cut a hole for the door, but you can if you want. Let's go here, edit mode, loop cut. Right, let's say this is where our sign will go, and then our table, let's say our table height is somewhere like here. So we have our stool and our table sticking out, and then this is the window area where you get served. And of course you got the pickup window. So let's say here and here, and let's set a height as well for this. Like this. So we've got a nice square window here, and since we're here, let's just put in the door. Why not? So that's halfway point. Maybe put a door here. Something like that. Okay. Hopefully you can visualize it. So we can just delete some of these faces now to make up so we can see the actual what we're creating. So there you go. There's the, now we can see into our shop, our little burger shop. And this is going to be the drive-through window, as you can see. And this will be our little doorway. All right. Maybe I want the door slightly taller. I don't know. I'm thinking, yeah, no, it's fine because if the window's the top of the window, the top of the door, yeah, it should be alright. I mean, you can always change it, but it's for now, it's okay. Okay. So what we're gonna do is actually should we get rid of this? Yeah, let's get rid of this face as well because we can put our own desk. We're gonna put our own little counter. We don't need that face really. Okay. I'm gonna just shade that to smooth. Add smooth. I'm going to add solidify to this. So I'm just gonna add some thickness. Add the modifier, generate, solidify. Add some thickness. I want an even thickness. Probably before this or after the smooth or before the smooth. I don't know. Let's get rid of the smooth for now. Ooh. Why does it look so horrible? Perhaps we don't even need the floor. I'm gonna delete the floor. That's probably looking better. We'll add the floor in. That's fine. Let's work on that. Something like that. Perhaps these edges here become round because they kind of look eh. Let's see if we can select this edge here or this edge here. Can I go into X-ray mode? Oh no, because it's solidified. Does the solidify have any additional options in terms of like edge? What's this creases? Let's see. Let me turn that. I'm gonna just play around with some of these settings. Nah. 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 Materials. Yeah, let's just leave it like that. Okay, I won't mess with it. Alright, I'll leave it like that for now. I can maybe hide that or cover it with something. Anyway, let's flush out this window and this door. Let's do this in pieces. So this is gonna be let's call this the shop walls. Shop walls. I'm gonna name these as we go along. Sorry if I cough from time to time. If you're hearing that, I apologize. And what we're gonna do is just build a little collection of stuff that we can, piece in. Let's do the wall. So I'm gonna go add a mesh cube. I'm gonna scale this down, move this into the window. This will be like the little table thing, little ledge. Okay. So you can go into the side view. If you go to X-ray, it's easier to see. And then you go into edit mode. Actually, you can just move these to the right size. then sit there. There we go. Now I'll scale this out. I'm going to just go Object, Center to Surface of Mass. So there, boom. Now right click. Before I hit apply, I want to apply a bevel modifier to this. So if I add a bevel modifier to it now, you see it's not, it's not going to work very nicely. If I go Control A, apply scale, you can see the bevel modifier is a lot better. Increase that count and shade auto smooth. There we go. All I'll do is just duplicate this. So Shift D to duplicate. Move this up. But this time we don't need a big ledge, so actually I'm going to scale this out a little bit more. Shift A, also Control A, scale, and this one. I'm going to bring this in like so. This will be like the frame of the window. All right, and I'm going to hit Control A, scale, Shift D. I'll rotate this. If I hold Control and snap that to 90 degrees and move this across like so. Now if I go tab, tab into edit mode, and I'll just adjust this so it is aligned, and I'll probably bring this in slightly. And Control A, scale, Shift D, put this on the other side, and now we have a little frame with our desk here, a little ledge, sorry, for serving the customers. Slightly clipping the wall, so I might just put it in a tiny bit. There we go. So it's not clipping. Maybe push this out more. There we go. I'm happy with that. Now let's make a little rain cover to stop the food from getting wet when it's served, and then we'll add a little window that it can slide open and close. And then once we do that, we'll put a collection and call that window. Okay. So I'm going to start with an actual. Let's start with a circle. All right, I'm going to go drag that circle over here. I'm going to zoom to it. Hit F. Tab F to fill. In edit mode, I want to get the knife tool and cut straight down the middle. I'll just cut straight down the middle. Knife tool. So there to there. Enter. Delete this off. Alright, now we have this edge loop here. This edge we want to select. We're going to extrude out of this, E, and extrude it. There we go. And this will be for the rain cover. Set this to 90. Move this up. Look at it from the front. Scale it down. Get it from the top. Bring it in. Like so. Let's set it here. Alright. And move this down like that. I'm going to go into edit mode, extrude, and pull this down. There we go. Let's bring this in. Now, this face here, this face, if I select it, all I want to do is actually just bring it down and then keep this up. So I could probably rotate this sideways like this. There you go. Control, like that. And then pull this down and rotate this. So there we go. And just push this back because we're going to look at it from the side. So this is the cover. not, it doesn't stick out too much. There we go, something like that. It's a small little rain cover. There we go. And of course we can object, center pivot to surface of mass. I'll scale it in slightly. There we go. I'm happy with that. And I'll pull that out to the side. There we go. Looking good. Alright. I'm going to add a modifier, generate. I want to solidify this. Like so. Just even thickness. Can we add a bevel to this as well? Let's increase that. I think 1 or 2 is okay. Maybe 2. Shade auto smooth. There we go. And then I'm going to shift D, duplicate. This is next to it. Now this one, I'm going to go back in and I'm going to make a little rain cover. So the side, so I'm just going to E. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is actually switch the scale. If I start to scale and hit 0, that levels it out. Bring this down like this. Oh, just put it back a tiny bit. So you got that little cover here. It's not perfect, but it's fine. Can probably move that vertex here, or this vertex. Can I dissolve this? Nah, let's leave it there. Just move it around, just tweak it. Yeah. Honestly, it's not that bad. From here, don't look too bad. And then what we're going to do is just Shift D, move this across. Let's repeat this. And of course, you don't want these gaps, right? Of course, I could do an array, but we'll use the array modifier later. For now, I think I'm happy to do it, to duplicate these. And then, of course, this will be mirrored. So perhaps I can, should I mirror it? Yeah, I can mirror it and then put, nah, it's so, I mean, yeah, let's add a mirror. Generate. Let's generate. Does it generate mirror? We're going to need an object, so I'm going to add an empty. Add a empty. Let's just use the arrow. Move it up here. What did I put in here? Is this an arrow? No, this is not the arrow. Add empty plane axis. There we go. Sorry. There we go. Yeah, I'll just place this over here in the center of these two. And this, of course, we go to the mirror. We're going to say mirror on object, right? With the empty. There you go. So distance. Could probably get away with that. Put one more here. Or I can shift these across. There you go. So this red, white, red, white, red, white, red. When we put the materials, but there we go. And then I want to apply these together. Let's make this into. Let's apply. Oh no, I would have to do. Actually, let's apply this one at least. Apply, 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 apply. Done. Then you could of course apply the modifiers, but for that we don't need this empty anymore. There we go. So we kind of got the window there. I might want to move this slightly down, like that. Let's shift D, select this, scale this out. Let's turn this into a window. So I'm going to go here into X-ray. So I'm going to scale this out. I'll just go center, scale this out. Control A. There we go. Let's put this here. Okay. I'm gonna go halfway. About here. Let's say that's about half. I'm gonna hit Control A. Scale. I want to scale this in. I want to select these two faces. Right. This face and this face. And what I want to do is inset. Like so. And delete those faces. Now it's slightly bigger, so I want to make that again smaller. Scale this down. I'm gonna bridge this, so bridge these faces or these edges. Make sure these edges are selected. Alt Shift, and then you're gonna go right click, bridge edges, or bridge edge loop. There you go. I'm going to change the bevel a little bit. Make sure I hit Control A and let's kind of clean it up a tiny bit. There we go. And then we're going to shift the. Yeah, these could be like those sliding windows. You know, where they open one. It's entirely up to you how you want to design it, but yeah, maybe they're too thick, so let's make that down a little. Control A, scale, move that forward. Bring that down. There we go. So they can hand the food in wherever they want through the window. Cool. And then slide this open and closed. It's not perfect, but it just gives you the ideas there. Don't really need the piece of glass there. You can choose to put a glass there or a piece of plane later. But I'll do that probably later, to be honest. So let's put this. Select everything. Select all of this. Select this. Select this. Any more pieces? No. I'm gonna right click. Move to collection. New collection. Window. Pick up. Great. Boom. Nice and tidy in a collection, and we can keep our tree nice and organized here. So if you want to turn off certain elements, if you want to focus on a specific thing, you can. Hopefully that's looking all right. All right. So let's do the front desk. So we have nothing here right now. We can just borrow. Actually, no, let's make a new one. So collection, make sure collection selected. Add mesh to cube. And then look at it from above. I want it to slightly stick out the bar. Okay. And I'll scale this out, of course. Scale this down. And then how far do I want the counter? I want the counter to hold like a till, but also enough for them to lean on and stuff. So yeah, that's fine. I would say somewhere like this. I hit Control A, apply all transformations, generate a bevel, boom, and go for a nice rounded look there. Shade auto smooth. All right. Then of course just duplicate this again. Object, set origin mass, rotate this 90 degrees. Move this forward. And we can scale this. Control A and scale. There we go. We have our counter. A nice counter there. Now we need to start making some. You can't have an empty kitchen. There's no point in doing a kitchen without, you know, having anything on it or stuff for it. But let's put this in a collection. I'm just going to put this into collection. Call this counter or front counter or something. I don't know. You can call it whatever you want. Front counter. Great. All right. Don't forget to save your work. Save copy as. I'm going to save it in my Blender projects folder. And I'll call this burger box. It's a box. There we go. Save. So now we have this. It's like a box, and it's going to be our burger bar. Maybe we'll call it burger box or whatever we want. Anyway, should we make a till or should we make? Let's make something. Let's fill in this first. Let's make a little cabinet and a little stove. We can put some burgers on there. So we need some vents, posters. We probably need some light fixtures or a light fixture. So we'll need to light the actual inside as well. Anyway, I'm going to go to mesh. Make sure I go click on this collection. So I don't want it to go into the front counter. Mesh cube. Bring this in here. Now I'm going to work out. Actually, I can use this cube to work out how deep this is and the space. So we're going to the side view here. X-ray. Move this into position. You can kind of just scale it. Drag these vertices and work out the counter. We can look at it from the front here. So we don't want it to. We don't want it to go through the wall, of course. We don't want it to look empty. There we go. Something like that. Let's see. Let's take a look. Kind of block it in. Yeah, that'll do. I mean, you don't have to always use the bevel modifier as well. You know, you may see I've used it quite a few times, but I can, if I want to say just bevel, say one part, like for example this edge here, I can right click, say bevel edge, and I can bevel that and, you know, put a few, and bring that down, and then just say shade smooth. There we go. It does the job. So let's add some, make this look like a stove and some counter cupboards and stuff like this. I'm gonna do a split down the middle just to give it so we can see this division. It's still one piece, but if we go bevel edge, and I just do that to 1 and reduce that width a little bit. Then what I can do is scale inward, ES, and scale that in just a tiny bit. There we go. So now it looks like we've got 2 separate parts. This is a counter, and then this can be our stove with a big grill, right? So on the top, I want to add another cube on top. So mesh, actually I can just take this, no, I'll just add another one. So collection, mesh, cube. Well, let's look at it from above. X-ray. And we're going to scale this. So now it doesn't need to be massive. Alright, let's send the X-ray off there and scale this in. So it just sits on the counter. Doesn't go to the edge all the way, so I want it to go to the edge. And this edge here. This will remain flat because we're not really focused on it. This is going to be the stove. Bring this down a bit. And I'm going to do inset. Like that. And I'll scale it inwards so it's not, the borders nice and even. And I'll just extrude down. There we go. And we have our little grill top, right? Now we need to add some bars. I want to do is just add right bevel. I'm going to hit Shift A, Control A, scale. There we go. That looks a little bit better. And I want it little. I still want it rounded. There we go, something like that. Can maybe make this a little bit bigger. There we go. All right, let's add some bars. So what we're gonna do is just get a cylinder. Simple enough. I'm gonna scale this down, scale it up, down. Move this up. I'm gonna rotate this. Boom. 90. I'm gonna scale this down, nice and small. We can use an array for this. All right, there we go. Now we have our little grill. Of course, we don't want it to, we can scale this in more. I'm kind of making this up as I go along. Like, there's no right way or wrong way, to be honest. There might be better ways, but as you build, you'll learn. Control A, I'll just apply all transformations, so that sets it to 0, and then I'm going to set the origin to center of mass. Boom. So 0, 0, 0. I'm going to Control A. Oh no. Set the origin back to center of mass. There we go. Add a modifier. We want an array, and we want to go to the right. So right now its offset is on x1. We want to go minus. What I'm going to do is just move this first. There's 2 arrows. One's this array space, you can see, and then the second arrow is to move the first the whole thing. If it lets me select it. If it lets me select it. Before I selected it. Anyway, increase this count. Now we have a grill. We can stick some burgers on there. We're nice and good. We got a business going. All right, let's add another cube in. So add a cube. I was thinking that we need to do the fronts. We need to add some more detail. So let's scale this in. Pull this down. At the front. Alright. I'm going to the front X-ray. Turn these vertices so I can move these a lot easier, like so. Okay. And Shift D. So Shift duplicate. Whilst we're not making it like a draw. There we go. And we'll just put like a stove little dial here for the stove. I'm going to do Control A, scale, Control A, scale. Make sure those objects are centered to surface center. And you know, in Maya, like you can hit Insert to center the pivot on the keyboard. I mean, you could probably do it, but or there's probably also a shortcut to do it to center it to the surface of the mouse, but I don't know what the shortcut is. You'll see me go into that menu and set in the origin manually. Anyway, let's add the bevel. Boom. And again, bevel. Play around with the look. There we go. See how that looks. Yeah, it don't look bad. Then what I could do is reuse this again. This across. And to X-ray. Maybe this is like this. This can go here. And then I'll Shift D across. This in. Control A, scale, Control A, scale. Shift D. And I'm going to scale this in and down and out. And move that across like this. Control A, Control A, boom. There we go. And we've got nice handles. Of course, you can smooth those out. You can also do all of these to smooth. Boom. Now we've got kitchen counter. We've got kitchen counter. We've got a stove. We have a cupboard. What we can do is we can select all of these. Alright, and we can just put this into a collection too. Cooker, counter. So there's the cooker and the counter. There we go. Now we have another piece done. Don't forget to save your work. Now, of course, we can add a floor. Pretty straightforward, right? Just go mesh plane, scale that up. Boom, we have a floor. Right, just make sure that floor doesn't go too far out onto it. Doesn't like it's not visible, so it's just within inside the thing, the boundary. I think that's fine because you're gonna put a door frame and a door. There we go. We have a floor. Of course, you can call that floor or shop floor. If I can spell floor. There we go. Hit save. Looking very nice. Now I'm gonna just I like this, but I wanna just tweak these a little because it looks a little bit eh. Which kind of, there we go. No, it's it's just a tiny bit of scaling, just push this forward. Yeah, that'll do. Maybe push it down. Actually, smaller is probably looks better. Smaller. There we go. That looks better. All right. I'm gonna save. What else can we do? So we've got the window, we've got the stove, we've got the countertop, we've got this. Start putting some items on the actual thing. Let's make a burger. Let's start with this. Add mesh cylinder. Boom. Boom. This will be called patty. Generate bevel. Boom. Looks wrong, right? Control A. Scale. Boom. And we've got a nice patty. You can play around with that. There we go. Okay, and of course we can just, like I said, stick this on the grill. Go to X-ray mode. Boom. And I get that proportion right. Shift D. Yeah, we've got some patties on there. Right. Sorry. Let's stack some packaging or something, some burger boxes for the burgers. So these are going to be cooked. Of course, you can make a spatula. You can add some extra stuff if you want. Whatever you want. You can maybe put a backboard here for the grill. If you want to grab, like you could grab this, shift, move this across, and now you got a little backboard. And just got object set origin. There we go. There's no rules to what you create. I'm just making it up as I go along, to be honest. Just think a little burger shop and what they would have. They could do, this would be like stop the splash with the oils. There you go. You could probably even put like some kind of brand name or whatever. Control A scale. Maybe even smaller. So I want to keep that ledge there. There we go. I like that. It's not bad. You can even put a tile texture, like whatever you want, or something on there. I don't know. Let's make a little burger box to hold our burgers in. Mesh cube. Okay, this will be our burger box. Burger box. Doesn't look much like a burger box, but it will hold our burger in it. Let's take a look from above. X-ray. So if our burger patty's this size, our box, yeah, that's about right. About right size. Not bad. Okay. Let's scale this in a tiny bit. I'm gonna turn the X-ray off. There we go. So what we're gonna do is split down the middle. So we're just gonna Control A, apply scale, and then we're gonna go edit mode. I'm gonna get the loop. I'm gonna add a loop cut there. We're gonna do is right click, bevel, edge. So I'm gonna go to edge. I want to bevel the edge loop. That will give us something. And what we're going to do is extrude inwards. E. I'm going to hit ES. And there we go. Now we have our little burger box. In edit mode, you want to select that top face. And we just want to scale it in. And bring it down. And of course, if I go to X-ray, select that bottom face. Same thing. We have a burger box. Now we want to add it, make sure it's nice and rounded and stuff. So we can just add a modifier. Bevel. There we go. Boom. Meat freeze, okay. There we go. Now we've got a burger box. Let's stack some packaging over here. Boom. Onto the side view. Of course, you don't need to do any of this. I want to do this so I have extra. You know, like if I render it, say from here, this something I can see. You may not even see it. You may just render it from here. Depending on what you want. But just in case you want to render it or do an animation, at least you'll see something. You know, there's always something inside. It's not empty. You can choose to just do the outside if you want. I'm just adding these extra props. So I've got these burger boxes and these patties. I'll leave them outside in the main collection. Let's stack that, something like that. Okay, it's looking good. Let's save where we are. Let's build a little ventilation here and a door. So we need a frame and a door, ventilation. We still need some stools. We need our sign. We need to fix the roof. We need to fix all of this outside. We've still got a lot of the way to go. Well, we're in almost hitting an hour, so it's not too bad. Hopefully, I've not bored you. Feel free to fast forward where you want along the video. Like I said, leave comments below. I know I'm waffling a lot. Anyway, let's still build this out. Let's put in the door. Again, we can just click on this collection here, add mesh, cube. This will be our door. Again, I'll go to X-ray and I'll position this roughly about center and then edit with these vertices like so. Take a look at it from above. Again, select these edges or vertices and move them into place. Of course, you can go for one piece like that if you want. There's no rules. Let's scale this in a tiny bit. I kind of like that. What I'm gonna do is actually keep this one, make this one piece, and just select this face and this face. Extrude inner. Or do I? No, I don't want to extrude inner because I don't want to do the bottom. So I'll just slice this. Slice here. So this frame. There we go. And then if I select this on this, and here we do extrude E. Oh, extrude. Let's extrude along normals. There we go. And we have a door. That looks alright. I know that you can separate the door thing, but it's gonna remain closed, so I'm just gonna keep it as one piece. Again, generate, and then just add a bevel on there. There we go. Because if you do wanna like animate it and then you'll make the frame separate and the door separate. Entirely up to you. Alright, let's add another cube in here. For this door. This will be the handle. So thinking about handle, I forgot to put the stove, the little dials for the stove. So I can go back and do that, but move this in. There we go. And of course it'll be mirrored on the other side, so you can actually use a mirror, or you could just just duplicate. It's fine. I put a little door handle on there. Cylinder. I'm gonna mesh. I'm gonna get a cylinder. Just gonna rotate this 90 degrees. Move it over. Scale it down. Put it in place. This face ES. Pull this forward. ES. And then ES. And this will be where ES. And push this in. Yeah, you can put the key in there. Show you that it's done. You can play around with this. There's no right or wrong. It may look terrible, may not look terrible. So push this in. There we go. Door handle or door knob. And a door plate. Door plate. Shift D. Entirely up to you. Have a good night, Submit. Good night. Rest well. And let me rotate this. Minus 180. Minus 180. There we go. And we'll place that on this side too. There we go. We have a door. We have kitchen. Starting to look like a business of some sort. Okay. I'm gonna hit save. Alright. This rooftop. I'm gonna hit tab. I'm gonna select this roof for a second. Just gonna do something on it. So I'm gonna do is extrude this up. So you can hit extrude region if you want. Pull this up by a tiny bit and then just a little bit there. And I'm going to say extrude inner, move this in, and then extrude down. Now I don't like this, what happened here. So maybe the inset here, I don't want it to overlap, so bring it in enough before it overlaps, then extrude down. There we go. That's better. And then this loop here, I just want to say ES. So, and I'm going to add a little edge lip, like a lip here, so a little bevel. Select that edge loop. Boom. This edge loop, bevel edge, and where's the count? Maybe 2 is fine. There we go. That looks a little bit more interesting. Gonna have the sign here. This is a roof. I like it. Like I said, just put this in the collection too. This is the door. New door. Okay. Save. I'm gonna make the little air vent. This will be on both sides, but you don't need the actual hole. We can just make similar way to the door or the grill. Actually, let's use the grill. Yes, let's shift D. This will be our ventilation. I'm going to just turn off the display, the array, so I can move this around a lot easier without the array going all wonky. Set this up and stick this on the outside. Put this somewhere here. Let's see this height on the inside. If it's on the inside here, slightly above the door is fine. There we go. Let's do something like that. Okay, hit tab. So we're in edit mode, X-ray, and look at it from the front. Move these up so it's more of a square. There we go. Come out of edit mode. Control A, scale. And we want this to be our vent. What I can do is actually distort this a little. So I'm going to scale this along there. I want to scale it out. And then I want to just rotate this. There we go. Almost like a vent. Now with the array, if we turn that back on, we go funny. Don't worry. And pull this back in. I'll zero it. If I hit Control A, rotation, we want to go on the Z axis. There we go. Introduce that count. So we don't need so many. Maybe 12 is fine. Now we have an air vent. Can release some of that food. And again, I'll just turn that off for now. Oh, I'll turn this back on. I should turn the array off for now. Shift select these two. So Shift D. And then I just want to rotate this. So, and then this in on this side. So now we have one on this side of the wall. Turn the array back on, and I can turn the array back on. Oh, there we go. Now the rotation of that actually, I can. Oh, that's kind of cool. But There we go. Something like that. Cool. Looks cool. So we got an event, of course. We'll make sure. Let's put this in its own little collection. Event. Great. There we go. File, save. I'm going to hit save quite a few times as we go along. So not bad for just under an hour. What's this like? But we're in the 58 minutes. Not done too bad. You know, we have quite a bit, but we still have a way bit to go. You know, we still got a lot of modeling. Not a lot, but a bit of modeling still to do. And we still have some. Then we got texturing, UV mapping, and all sorts as well. Then lighting. But you can see the process. You know, you can just chill and you can do the same thing. Maybe you want to do a different version. Anyway, maybe we want to add some posters on here. So let's add a mesh. Make sure I'm going to select this collection. Make sure I'm on this collection when I add. I'm going to add a mesh here. Maybe you want to add like, the menu boards of the different types of food, or you could add some branding or posters or whatever you want. I'll use a cube. Very, very narrow. There we go. One, might have this poster maybe like wash your hands, or I don't have a sink. They don't have a sink. And a burger place doesn't have a sink. But yeah, we don't have a sink. But we may need a sink, but I don't want to make a sink right now. Let's go this up. I want this to be aligned. Nice and aligned. There we go. Let's got a little poster anyway. Maybe this is a menu for the worker to look at, and some motivational advertisement of a burger. I don't know. Could be whatever you like. You can even frame it. Right, maybe this one's paper and this is actual framed. There's nothing wrong. You can make this up, like make it up as you go along. See, I'm just making it up. Everything's just doesn't exist. Alright, save. So let's put something like the sign here. So it's, we can see what it is. So there's one on the inside or something. So if I do that, I'll just name these. I don't know. Picture 1. I don't know. Menu, poster, whatever you want. Save. Sorry if I'm doing caps, and sometimes I'd write in all caps. Sometimes I'll do like lowercase. It's a bad habit. Yeah. Anyway, what I want to do, add a sign. We want to add some stools. We still want to add some stuff on the counter. We want to add some, maybe some bottles of ketchup or something. I feel that we should have some kind of cardboard boxes, or maybe I can just, cardboard boxes on the floor or something, or cardboard box like storage or something there. This corner kind of looks meh, or mop bucket or something. I don't know. I'll figure out what we're gonna put in there. Or a little bin. I'm gonna put a bin on the outside, but I want to put a bin on the inside or something. I don't know. Just something in that corner. I'll think about it. I'll probably put boxes or something. Just cardboard box. It doesn't. Or I don't know. A mop bucket in there. Would you want to buy food from somewhere you see a mop bucket in the corner like that? Anyway. Let's. I'm overthinking everything, you see. Let's put a sign here. Let's add a. Make sure we're on the right collection we want, and add a mesh cube. This will be our billboard sign. Let's go this. import this out. A lot of the time, if I did plan this, hopefully I'll get better at, you know, planning this. I don't want this to be a perfect sign. I want it kind of be like a cool, funky, you know, move this in. About like that. Right. Control A. Like that scale. I'm gonna add some bevel to it. Boom. Cool. And we're gonna put some text on there, some neon text. So we're gonna go text. And to edit the text, you just hit tab. You can just delete that and you can just type in the, for example. If I move this across, so let's work on this first font, how we want it to look. So we want it to like a neon sign, right? So let's go to the font options. I like to center this, center the pivot of that text. It depends on what you want. If you want left justify, it depends how you were using it. We're not gonna edit this; it's gonna be fixed. So say none, geometry. There we go, something like the. We want a better font, so let's get a better font. Open, it's just looking at my system font. Oh, nice big font. Maybe something like this. Or like there. I don't know. There's loads of fonts you can choose from. It does not matter. Maybe something like this. You can of course play with the spacing as well. Here we go. Scroll down here. Character spacing. All right. So we've got. Say this is going to be our neon. We want a back plate. You could of course do the back plate and get rid of the. Just do front. Get rid of it. You can choose to add some depth, maybe a little bit. I don't know. So entirely up to you. There we go. And then I'm going to select these two, Shift D, bring this back, Tab, and then Tab B. I want this to be a big B. I don't know. And then Tab Box or Burger Box, B-U-R Box, or maybe I'll put Box and then as a separate font. U-R-G-R, and then of course I want them to. I want the B to be quite big. See. Select these. Something like, I'm just making this up. Again, how the burger, and then if I shift the burger box or whatever, you know, you can put. It doesn't. There's no rules to what you're doing, right? Box for box, burger box. I did that. Let me undo that. Right. Tab OX. There we go. tab, OX, and then scale those two together. That's my mistake. I just scaled individually. Maybe even the X could be massive, but it doesn't. Yeah, maybe I'll make the X slightly bigger as well. Get rid of the X. I'm being extra, sorry. There we go. There we go. I'm sure there's a better way of doing it, or editing font, or doing it. Megabytes. Whatever you want, it doesn't matter. There we go. Let's move this into collection. New collection. Neon. Sign. Great. Oh, sorry, hiccup. Caught me off guard. There we go. I know. I'm kind of, yeah. I kind of like that. The megabytes. A bit of O. I'm being really picky. Sorry. Save. If anyone wants to fund my little burger box business, I'll be happy to take any free donations to start this burger box business. I need maybe a couple of 100,000. In return, I'll give you a nice cheeseburger in a fancy box from the burger box. Anyway, let's hit save. So it's us hit save again. I like it. I can see it's starting to come together. It's been a while since I've made a video, or you know. Let's move this slightly up. It's out of the way. There we go. Hit save again. I'm being a bit picky, like I said. And then of course here you can have. I want to do maybe an arrow, say pick up, or put some decals here. Let's add a pipe here. Some pipes and stuff, or something, you know. A little chair, and little stools, some, what's it called, tills, and yeah, so many things we can add still. Bear with me. Okay. So we want to add the dial. And I've noticed, I forgot, I said I wanted to do the dial. What's this cube? So this is part of the sign. I need to add that. The collection of new sign, and also rename it something like backboard. There we go. I won't worry about naming all of the text or the vents. I won't worry, as long as they're in those things. Yeah, like a boxes. Maybe I can put these in a collection. Burger boxes. Let's put the patties in a collection too. Why not? What's collection 9? Let's put in collection 9. I guess I made collection by accident. Let's call this patties. There we go. Save. I like it. I like it a lot. Yeah, let's make a teal. Let's make a teal. Let's make a. I want to make a burger as well. Actual burger. Where's it here? I'm going to make sure I'm in the right collection. Go here. Actually, front counter. Let's put in the front counter. Add the teal into the front counter collection. Add mesh cube. Is it in this collection? Yeah. Cool. So this is going to be our teal. Okay, from the front. You know, normally you have the teal, but it's not always not. Yeah, so they can serve customers, and maybe here they get their food, or maybe someone wants to stay there, wait, eat. Depends on what kind of place this is. So we've got stores here, they could eat here, serve here, pay here. Yeah. Maybe a little bit smaller. Just a basic till. It's not. I'm not doing anything fancy. You're not going to see the inside or the other side of the till. Just looking at it from the counter side. And a bevel. Oh. Shift D. Oh. And split this in half. And then I'm going to raise this part up. E. There we go. There we have a till. Bring this little edge down. So we'll have the where you know this is the cash register. If you, I mean, you can be extra if you want. You can go here and you can go add the little cash drawer. So if you want to add them with all the extra details in there, you know, push that in. Ping when it opens. Entirely up to you. You can do all the little buttons. Not necessary, but you can do it if you want. Bring that down. Something like this. And duplicate this again. This could be the how much it costs or the price. Put it over here on the left. It's normally on like a little stick or swivel so they can show you the price, right? They go like it's like towards they move it towards the customer. Shift D. Why isn't that scale? There we go. Like I said, it doesn't need to be perfect. Control A, scale boom. A scale boom. Select this face. This is going to be like a little LED display. Of course, you can inset this and just push it in. There you go. And we have it too. Like I said, you can choose to add additional buttons if you want. On here, if you want, you can just get, I don't know, get a cube. You get a cube. some buttons. Why not? There we go. Rotation is not perfect. There we go. Like I said, it doesn't. Like I said, it's not perfect. You don't have to do this. You don't really need to. It's just I'm just doing this. Subdivide. And the bump, bump, bump. Select all these faces. And just oh. Alright. Make sure that's individual. Extrude up. Then we've got keypad. Boom. Alright, I can even maybe stretch those out a bit, make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And maybe you want to move it to this corner so you can see it from this angle, maybe if you ever decide to view it. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Like I said, you may see it, you may not see it, but we have a tilt. Let's hit save, and these are all in. Make sure these are all in there. They're on part of that. Yeah, that's fine. On the front counter, I also want to add a mesh cylinder. Oh, easy peasy. Alright. On here, then scale this up. Let's look at it from the side. X-ray. E. E. And just E and scale. E and scale. Extruding and scaling. Yeah. And oop. Well, yeah, maybe that's a little bit too long. It looks weird, but it's fine. Yeah. Make sure this X-rays on. Just do that. Pull this down. There we go. Cool. Maybe the bottle is quite big compared to the till. I feel that it looks too narrow. Let me delete that. Let me make it bigger, like not the dimension, the like thicker but less tall. I don't know. Yeah, that looks a bit better. There we go. Make sure that's not floating. Let's take a look. These patties are floated a tiny bit. We'll do mayonnaise, ketchup, and mustard, or whatever they want, or maybe a spicy sauce, ketchup, mustard, whatever. It doesn't matter. Need some sauces. If you want to make a salt and pepper, you can feel free to add that. You know, it's safe. So that's part of the counter. Yeah, that's nice. I like it. I really like it. I'm really happy with this so far. Since I haven't done Blender in a long time, it feels like a long time, long time. Anyway, let's do a new collection. I'm gonna start up in collection 1, and I'm gonna make a burger. Actually, let's just get one of the patties. Let's take it over here, and then we know what we're working with, right? So this is our patty. What I want to do is put a cheese on top. I'm gonna get a mesh and plain. Get it from above. I'll just move it into position. Okay. Now subdivide this a little bit, not too much. Doesn't need too much. That's gonna be our cheese. 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 Cheese, grab it. Would you like some cheese? Then what we're gonna do is we can just use sculpting tool maybe. I don't know how this will look or work. Glow filter? Too much. I just want the corners right. I don't want. What's this strength? There we go. I'll bring the strength down. Does it? No. Is it the cloth mass? No. Use collision. No. Maybe they've changed it because before I could just like take a piece of geometry and just sculpt it. Maybe I'll just do grab then. Because I got all the brushes simulation, drag cloth. Oh, here we go. Bend, twist, grab cloth. Ah, there we go. That's what I want. It is changed. Probably more easier because cheese. It's gonna be a cheese. That's so nice. That's so nice right there. I just grab the corner and I can just fold it down and kind of pull this up. Done. I don't need to do a cloth simulation. Tools are right there. And nice that is. That melted cheese. There we go. That'll do. It's all you need really. And then we just add pull this up a tiny bit. There we go, down a bit. There we go. Oop. Oop. Solidify. Piece of cheese. And a bevel. So, there we go. Control A. And I can play around with that. Play around with this. I like it. Okay, we got patty, we got some cheese. Alright, we need some tomatoes. What we're gonna do is turn the patty into tomatoes. Boom. Easy peasy. Let's switch that down. Shift D. D. Alright. We have tomatoes. Put this one over here. In case we see it. So, you know, let's spread it out. We have some tomato slices. Maybe this one's slightly bigger. It doesn't matter. There we go. Cool. So we have tomatoes, and we need the bun on top, and then we need lettuce and another bun. And it's done. This will be our burger collection. But let's use a sphere for the bun. Right. Move this into position. Get that right scale. Get rid of the faces that we don't need. That looks nice. As well to also create like our seating using a sphere. I know it's just kind of random, but let's go back here. And we're going to select this edge loop here. E. E. And then F to fill. Okay. Move this in place. Boom. Change move. Let's see how this looks. This here is so sharp, so also here it's too sharp, and here's too sharp. Then we're going to just scale it a little up. Yeah, we're going to go to sculpting, and we're just going to it's a bun, it's not perfect. I treat it like cloth, so there we go. Now the bun at the bottom could just be a piece of bread like this. This could be the patty, but smaller. A little bit smaller like this. There we go. I'm going to put some lettuce in here. And just duplicate this. I'm going to add deform, displace, move this up, and we're going to add new clouds. There we go, that'll do. We've got lettuce. I'm going to bring that down. More crunched up. That looks better. And then go back here. So that is it always the smooth last year. I think this strength. There we go. Cool. So we got lettuce. Let me push this up. There we go. We have a burger. Let's add some sesame seeds on the top. So we're gonna need to, let's just duplicate this. I'm just kind of making anything. I'm just reusing. I can't be bothered to, but go like this. Name that seed. I'm gonna do select all of these. Collection burger. Right. Next, I'm going to select this, and we're going to add a modifier, and we're going to say generate array, not array, it is instance elements, and this is our object. Bring that mask down. Transformation would be like 0.5. No, actually 0.05. Got some seeds on there, and then you can play around with this. And you can play around with the seed there. I thought it would be cool if this actually affected this, but I'll maybe have to do oh, it does. You just have to apply the transformation. Okay, cool. There we go. Now we've got some sesame seeds on there. We have a burger. So if I go burger itself, and then I want to select whatever I want to select. I don't know. Make that green. You can color code these, which is kind of cool. I can go select objects. Boom. And they're all selected. The seed I don't want visible, so I want to put that over there. Make sure these are all selected here. Stick this on the counter. Probably have to stick it on a plate or a napkin, but customer has their burger ready. There we go. Next, what I want to do is Shift D, move this up, scale this out. maybe the other way because the font's that way. Maybe something like this. Cool. Sculpting. I think it's going on. There we go. There we go. Let me go back to layout. Grab this. I'll apply that to it and then go back to sculpting. Does that? There we go. Just want to kind of so the clipping is not so visible on the front. Okay. There we go. Back onto Burger Bucks. Let's save here. I think I'll finish the model in this video, and the next video we'll start texturing and materials and then lighting. I don't want it to go on forever, but you know I've gone quiet sometimes, and we hit the 2-hour mark. So you know, feel free to fast forward as like I said at any point. Because I've still got the stools, the pipes as well to do. Anyway, let me save. Let's put a pipe in here. So we're gonna go up here, collection. We're gonna go add curve, Bezier curve, tab, delete vertices. I'm gonna go into this side view here or here, like this. On this side, I'm gonna say draw, and I'm just gonna draw a pipe straight down. Boom. Now we have a pipe, and I can do with that curve selected, add a modifier, and if I can generate, there should be one curve to tube. That's our pipes. Now you can duplicate this, and you can change the shapes. You can have a second one, maybe another one. Down here, you can go to the curve, and you can change the height. And we get another one. You can shift, duplicate. Maybe the third one goes back, and then you can move this up. Just gonna go like this. And E to extrude that. E again. Gonna move this out this way. Yes, there's no right or wrong. You can just make it up. Like I said, I'm just making it up. Then we've got some kind of pipes. Maybe this one's diameter is less, so there's more. It's a lot thinner. You can maybe put a box there or something. Just this going around. Of course, it's more flush against the building. Yeah. There's, like I said, there's no right or wrong. You can kind of do whatever you like. And then I could add an additional cube here, like I said. See? Not much. It doesn't take much to add just little stuff in without having to do anything. You know, just little. You know, it's just a cube. The cube doesn't have to have much detail. You can just go here, insert the face, extrude the face out, scale it in. It looks like some kind of junction box or some kind of fuse box or whatever you want. You got some kind of weird wiring. Yeah, it might be power. This might be coming from this. You know, I could wire it so it comes out of the box if I wanted, but yeah, it does not matter. It does matter. I mean, you can think about like if you wanted to say, if I wanted to say, okay, delete these vertices, and say, okay, where does this go? So I could move this T, E, and I say, okay, it comes out this box here. Rotate this. There we go. Let's go in there. Doesn't need to be perfect, like I said. You can move it. There we go. Because this is in the wall. It's in the wall. That's fine. And we've got some kind of wire there and some box. Maybe that's how they power it up. It's a giant battery on the side. Let's add the stools. Then I'll add the stools and then I'll save it here and come back to it tomorrow night and finish it off. The stool I'll start with, surprisingly, like I said, I'll start with that using a sphere, but I'll make sure I'm in this collection. Mesh and use sphere. This will be the stool. Kind of place it where I want it to be. Let's say that looks like a stool, right? Squish it down. Now we've got the top of the cushion where you can sit. Alright. Ensure an X-ray mode so we can delete both sides. And then we're going to just delete these faces. Boom. Oh, edges, I said faces. Faces, there we go. Then select this edge, the last edge here, and of course then we're going to extrude down and we're going to build our stool. E, S, E, and then I'll drag down. There's our stool. Then the base, kind of pull this out, and I hit E. There we go. You have a stool. Now it's not the best stool, like I said. If I hit shade filter smooth, we're gonna fix this up and make this look a little bit better. So let's go back into it, edit, and we want, of course, add some additional slices. So this edge here, I'm going to say bevel edge, like that. That's a bit more rounded. Now this is way too, chunky. I can select this ring here and this ring here, and I can kind of just scale this in, and of course scale this up. So I'm happy with that. That looks a bit better. Let's add some additional loops here. Boom, boom, boom. Oops. Select these loops. Bevel edge loops. What? I said bevel. Oh, I said bridge. So bevel edges. There we go. Something like this. Extrude along normals. It looks almost like the stool is a beggar. And we're going to add an additional ring in there. I'm just going to get rid of that. But there we go. Now, got this kind of weird thing going on here. So I'm going to say bevel edge. There we go. I'm going to say add bevel. Control A. I like that. Doesn't look bad. Actually, maybe this is too much, too smooth. Look, probably if I add another edge, one more edge loop here. I actually like that. That bit looks a lot better than. Can call this stool. Stool. I think that's how you spell stool. Because we're going to texture this, so we'll have this like chrome and like checkered seat. I want to add additional mesh, torus. Let's see, it needs to be. Again, try to get an idea of it. That location there. Yeah, that'll do. Well, it's not perfect, but if I look at it from top, because this is your footrest kind of. They have that footrest, and then there's like the little melt where they weld the metal. Let's just add a cylinder. Now, what I'll do is I won't duplicate all 3 or 4 or whatever how many I have across. I'll do the one, texture it, and then place. Actually, it doesn't matter if I duplicate from now because I can For now, it's just the model in it. Doesn't matter. I'm maybe overthinking. Perhaps I'm overthinking it. Select this top face, I'll just shift it in. There we go. There we go. Put this across. Yeah, say 3. The 4th will be where customers stand. That's alright. Perhaps these, they're not aligned perfectly. Maybe one slightly tucked in. So people can move them. They don't need to be fixed to the ground. I like it. So yeah, let's look. Yeah, it doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. I've never played around with these settings just yet. What's this resolution? So why is the shadows? Or is that the noise? I don't know what that is. Position, thickness. What's thickness? What does thickness do? I need to look into some of this. Light probes. I don't use light probe. Samples. Viewport. There we go. 6512. There we go. That's better. Even 1024. Oh no, 1024. That doesn't look terrible. I mean, we haven't lit anything, but it doesn't look bad. It's given us an idea of what we should expect, but it's looking good. I like it. Got a lot of stuff going on. I need to add some stuff in that corner there. Want to add some little props outside. Add some signage here. Then we can start texturing it up. Okay. I think I'll call it a night and we'll carry on with it tomorrow. See how far we get. Thank you again. Until tomorrow. Bye bye.